Is the classic bodyweight dip an exercise for your chest or for your triceps? Welcome to one of Bodyweight Fitness's eternal questions, and one of those questions that never gives you the super clear answer that you really want. And that's because the truth is the dip is actually for both. A properly done dip incorporates both chest and triceps, because much like a bench press, it has us working through elbow extension, which is going to be our triceps, and it has us working through chest adduction, which is really going to be our chest. So point blank, you can't avoid using both muscle groups when you do a dip. But if you want to bias the dip towards one muscle group or the other, we can make some subtle adjustments. And that's how we arrive at the chest dip, a slightly different version of the exercise than the one you may be doing right now. Is this the best exercise for your chest? Point blank, it is not, because depending on your shoulder mobility and shoulder health, you may not be able to get the greatest stretch on your chest. And we know that living in those stretch positions is really key to muscle growth and development. But the chest dip is an option, so we're going to go over how to do the chest dip right now. So the classic dip definitely focuses more on our triceps if we really have to separate it like that, especially in the safest form. You're going to set up on a bar and you're going to think about squeezing and slightly depressing your shoulder blades, and you're going to think about driving your elbows together. Then you'll lean slightly forward and you'll lower as far as you can, bending at the elbows. Your aim is to drop low enough that your upper arms are at least parallel to the ground, but not everyone will have that ability. Then you press up. On this press up, you're getting a little bit of chest, but mostly we're hitting our triceps because our triceps are completely responsible for the active elbow extension. Now, this is already a tricky move for some individuals, so if you're feeling shoulder pain while doing dips this way already, point blank, just forget about doing the chest bias version. When we do the chest version though, we're gonna follow the same basic form guidelines, except we're gonna tweak two things. One, we're going to dip our head just slightly, and two, we're going to bend at the hips. Doing both of these things is going to shift your torso angle ever so slightly so that it's more parallel to the ground. It's not gonna be much, it's only gonna be ever so slight. But starting to replicate that position is very similar to a decline push-up or a decline bench press. And both of those moves are going to put a lot more emphasis on your chest because we're gradually moving our upper arm angle tighter to our torso while still getting that pressing action. The downside, it's also placing your shoulders in a very vulnerable position. There's a lot more chance when you're doing a chest-focused dip of your shoulders slipping into internal rotation at the shoulder joint, and this is not a great position for shoulder health. We always want to try to bias towards external rotation. Still, this is the best way to get a chest pump from your dips. It's just a subtle tweak that you may not directly feel, but trust me, the body angle is taxing your chest more, and if you're determined to do dips for your chest, this is the only way to get it done. And again, it's just one of many options to build your lower chest. If you really want to focus on your lower chest and spare your shoulders too, so you can stay healthy in the long term, there are a lot of other better moves, like decline angle push-ups, decline bench presses even, and I'm not even really a fan of those, and glute bridge floor presses. Each of these will let you push more volume and more reps for your lower chest without having any of the shoulder risk. There's a little bit of shoulder risk in some of those moves, but it's not nearly as much as it is in the dip. But if you're determined to do dips with your chest workout, then think of them as a chest finisher. This is not something you do at the beginning of the workout. You're gonna hit your bench presses and a couple of your other compounds first, but you'll be working at the end of your workout in, say, 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Focus on keeping the reps tight. Don't think about going to a failure because, again, there's a lot of shoulder risk in this, and focus on really getting a good squeeze and contraction while doing them for your chest. Then you're going to get the chest pump you wanted out of dips. Again, there are better moves, but if you're determined to do the dip for your chest, that's how you do it.